"You two pilot, helicopter chasing like a mad dog," Mr. angrily shouts. "Stop here." Dickens knew things were spiraling out of control, so he picked up a hammer to give the investor a surprise. After all, who cares about small stuff? Keeping calm, Dickens actually parked the car on the road, while Hill and May managed to rush from the underground river to the big river. Dickens, however, leisurely awaited the final countdown. Looks like he was a bit too relaxed. Dickens unexpectedly displayed a peculiar smile, leaving everyone puzzled. Then, the nuke located underground in the mine was detonated, and the surrounding ground went absolutely bonkers in an instant, creating a breathtaking scene. If enough copper mines were below, this place would turn into a giant axe, more exciting than a concert. Electromagnetic waves reached the base miles away, the helicopter spinning like a lost UFO due to interference. Although this wasn't in the original plan, it was a piece of improvisation Dickens learned on the battlefield. Who said plans always go? The nuke exploded, waves off. Dickens lost patience and shoved the investor aside. Continuing as planned, the Pentagon freaked out. Nuke detonated. Dickens is unfazed. They might not pay, but the rock wall shielded them from radiation, a small favor. Hill reassured May. If radiation leaked, the butterflies on the lake would be dead, and they were chatting. Hill deduced Dickens would take the water out due to the drain. They followed the river and spotted people waiting to board. Just as he thought, Dickens showed up. However, those two lucky bones sneaked onto the boat to sabotage his plans. In this crisis, Hill hid in the big river while May tucked away in a corner of the boat. This was like a game now. At this moment, good news came flying. They found Captain Hill. May had been quietly sitting in the boat corner, completely undetected by Dickens' crew. After a while on the boat, May took off again, and only then did the Pentagon realize somebody had stirred the hornet's nest. Turns out the traitor was Hill but Dickens, who hadn't seen a promotion or raise in 20 years. They found Captain Hill, and May was sitting peacefully in a corner of the boat, completely unnoticed by Dickens until they docked. The base gradually picked up a trail of suspicious trucks, but Hill was sure, based on his knowledge of Dickens, that the nuke was definitely not on those trucks. Dickens deceived by fainting one way and striking another, and left by train. This trick was as hated as a mouse on the street. May snuggled close to a grinning group on the train, all ready to launch the helicopter and change directions. May sneakily entered the cargo hold and spotted a very classy-looking doctor, imagining slapping a plate meal into his stuck-up face. But unfortunately, May got too careless. The bespectacled guy's long legs came out, tossing her to the wall in just a few moves. The guy told May he wasn't your average computer geek. He used to be a Navy SEAL, thinking to himself, "This little lady is going to be interesting to deal with." Just when he was about to follow Hill's orders and destroy the nuke, Dickens caught him. What a hard knock life. Just as the cargo door swung open, Hill appeared, packing more firepower than a summer blockbuster, leaving the guy's sanity in shambles. The big guy got furious, his perfect plan thwarted. Hill jumped onto the train and rescued May from the side of the cargo hold. One enemy crept up, but the colonel on the plane easily took him out. Who would have thought with such high stakes, they only sent one helicopter? With such a big affair, only one helicopter sent out became the scene of romance amidst chaos makes you want to laugh and cry at the same time. At this moment, Dickens was ready to get real and started the nuke countdown. Now he could take out enemies one after another, high above them. During the firefight, the colonel engaged with the ground enemies, but alas, he got shot, and the helicopter went haywire. Talk about a suspense thriller. Then, the helicopter crashed into the tunnel after the train entered, exploding in a blaze of glory. It was a blockbuster scene, for sure. After the tunnel, Hill continued to brawl with the enemies. It felt just like a final survival showdown in a video game. A deafening explosion sounded, wiping out almost all enemies, leaving only Dickens and his two henchmen. A battle for money turned into a comedy show. They thought there was no hope for this fight, and prepared to go down together. What a sad little duo. Hill was all set for the final showdown, determined it was time to settle the scores. Dickens had the nuke countdown ticking at 5 minutes, but his henchmen were finally boiling with rage, ready to turn on each other. Poor Dickens' little henchman didn't realize that he was heading straight for doom. And so, one by one they walked toward their end, filled with regrets, while only Dickens inside the cargo hold. A duel ensued in a tight space. Dickens fired decisively. Pressing the button would end the countdown. Hill and others still faced defeat, as Dickens feared no death. The struggle was a farce. Hill had to lay down his gun, Dickens ready to clash again. Who knows when this debacle ends? They once sparred for $20 in a boxing ring, and now it had turned into a life-or-death struggle. This bout was unlike any other. Dickens had no clue that every time he bested Hill, it was because Hill went easy on him. How tragic for the crueler. This time, Hill wouldn't hold back. He launched a furious assault with lefts and rights, overpowering Dickens into a daze. May disconnected the train just in time. Punches continued inside. Dickens kicked aside. Hill grabbed the remote, shut timer with 2 seconds left. A major twist. The nuke was launched out by inertia, and terrified Dickens vanished in the explosion's flames. As the gas explosion subsided, Hill saw the untouched nuke. Dickens was gone. This mission finally ended in victory, with $20 hanging in the grass. This round went to Hill. Don't forget to subscribe for more. Perhaps, next time, Even more surprises await.